You open the fridge, stare inside, and can't remember what you came for. You can't focus or concentrate at work the way you used to. And if you're like most women, your mind goes straight to the worst case scenario. Is this early dementia? Am I losing my mind? So let's get this straight. Your brain isn't failing. You are not imagining it. Your brain is responding to one of the biggest hormonal shifts your body will ever go through. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's happening inside your brain, why it happens, and what research says may help support your brain health with practical strategies you can discuss with your doctor. And if there's any comfort, you are not alone. Up to 95% of women in perimenopause report problems with memory. Up to 90% say they have trouble concentrating. It's a common biological response, and nobody warned us how disruptive and, frankly, how scary it could be. Here's what I need you to understand. Perimenopause brain fog is not a permanent decline. You are not losing your intelligence. This is not a breakdown. It is a temporary restructuring. Think of it like your brain is going through a major renovation. The structure of the house is completely sound. Nothing is being torn down, but the contractors are in. The furniture is shifted. Some rooms are temporarily out of order. You know where everything is. It's just taking a little longer to navigate around the work zone. And critically, it fluctuates. Sometimes the contractors show up and do the work. Other times, the work stands still. You might have a terrible foggy morning after a night of broken sleep, and by evening, the construction is winding down for the day and the house feels like yours again. But we do have to draw a hard line. If you are experiencing a steady, unyielding decline with no good days, getting lost in familiar places, or cannot manage basic daily life, that is not standard perimenopause fog. That is a red flag. Please see your doctor and get it checked out. To understand brain fog, we have to stop thinking of the brain as a mysterious black box. It is the most metabolically demanding organ in your body. Your brain makes up just 2% of your body weight, but consumes over 20% of your total energy. It runs almost exclusively on glucose, so when the fuel supply changes, it struggles. During perimenopause, estrogen doesn't just gradually decline, it fluctuates before it drops. And here's what almost nobody explains. Your brain is packed with estrogen receptors. These are little listening stations in billions of brain cells. Estrogen keeps these cells connected and communicating. It stimulates glucose uptake. It keeps blood flowing to every corner of your brain. When that signal becomes unstable, the messages stop traveling efficiently. That's why words disappear mid-sentence. That's why your thinking suddenly feels like it's moving through mud. Neuroscientists like Dr. Lisa Mosconi have shown through brain imaging that as estrogen drops, the brain experiences a 30% reduction in glucose metabolism. Your brain's ability to burn fuel drops by nearly a third. This creates what researchers call a bioenergetic deficit. Your brain cells are literally running on fumes. And when that happens, tasks that used to be automatic, finding a word, holding a thought, reading a book, suddenly require enormous effort. That is the fog. Now, I'm going to say something that sounds a bit scary, but it is important for your longevity. This exact pattern where brain struggles to burn glucose is the same metabolic signature seen in very early stages of Alzheimer's disease, decades before the symptoms appear. But context changes everything. When estrogen levels are healthy, estrogen acts like a daily cleanup crew, sweeping away sticky protein clumps called amyloid plaques. These toxic clumps build up between brain cells, clogging pathways and smothering neurons. Estrogen also keeps your blood vessels flexible, so fresh blood reaches every part of your brain. When estrogen drops during perimenopause, that bodyguard walks off the job. Here's what this means. Brain fog is not a diagnosis. It is an early metabolic warning light on your dashboard. Your brain is telling you clearly and urgently that it is under strain and needs support. That doesn't mean panic. It means you need a plan. So if the brain is running on empty, what do you actually do? We cannot stop the hormonal shift. That's biology. but we can change what we give the brain to work with. There are 4 foundational areas that researchers keep coming back to. 1. Build insulin sensitivity through heavy resistance training. Remember from our last episode, our bodies naturally become more insulin resistant during perimenopause. Your muscles act as a massive metabolic sponge. Resistant training lowers insulin levels, resets your sensitivity, and creates a clear, wide open pathway for energy to reach your brain. This is about clearing the fuel lines. 2. Prioritize high quality protein and choline-rich foods at every meal. Amino acids and choline are the building blocks your brain needs to produce neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that carry signals between the neurons. Without them, the communication network starts to drop calls, reaching for wild salmon, eggs, and chicken, or plant-based options like tofu, lentils, quinoa, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. Yes, I know, Brussels sprouts. 3. Explore targeted metabolic tools with your doctor. If you're open to it, speak with a menopause-informed doctor about hormone replacement therapy. Restoring estrogen, along with progesterone if you still have a uterus, is about turning the brain's protection system back on. But whether hormone replacement therapy is part of your path or not, you have options. Targeted antioxidants like CoQ10 support energy production where glucose is falling short. The stress regulation matters as well. Chronically high cortisol makes the metabolic environment worse. Whatever your path, there are tools available. Talk to your healthcare provider. And finally, number 4, protect your deep sleep like your brain depends on it, because it really does. Your brain generates metabolic waste all day long. The night shift cleaning crew, known as the glymphatic system, only clears the waste during deep sleep. Cut your sleep short, and the cleaners don't finish their job. You wake up with yesterday's mental clutter. For most of us in perimenopause, sleep is already disrupted by hormonal fluctuations. So this cleaning process is already compromised. Protecting your sleep quality is not a luxury. It is a longevity strategy. Brain fog is not a sign that there is something wrong with you. It is not something you just have to accept. This is a predictable chemistry, a biological signal that your metabolic engine needs a different kind of fuel and support. Now that you have the knowledge, you can actually do something about it. Nobody warned us, but now we know. Please save and subscribe so that you never miss an episode.